really want a lot. I feel like they just want more football because they're over here a lot more, I feel like, and just studying film and getting extra work in and extra things in the training room and weight room. So, but overall, it's just it's been a great environment to come to work and get better.
How have the new guys, just as a follow up, how have the new staff adjusted? And since we last talked to you, the Greg hire was Gaspardo hire was made official. Kind of your thoughts on getting him on board.
Yeah, I've worked with Greg at App State and as a GA. Then he left and he came back as a full time and really good coach. Does a great job. He's more of a teacher, I think, more than a than a screamer. He's going to teach these guys what we want out of the safeties. But I think overall the guys are adjusting well. I think they kind of got thrown in this thing and pretty quickly they get here and hey guys, we're practicing spring ball next week. And they've done a good job with it. It's been fun to kind of watch them and, get together with our guys and mesh. And our guys are learning them and they're learning the guys. It goes both ways. Because as a player, you're going to look at the, how the personality of the coach is going to be, and kind of how I'm going to react to that and those type things. So that's going well. But yeah, it's been good. I think all the new coaches, we got everybody here, and they're all kind of blending in well with everybody. And one of the things that we do like, obviously, it makes it easier for them because we do have a lot of guys that have played, that have already been in our system, that know what to do, and I think that helps a lot. So you can almost go into the meeting room, and the kids can almost coach the coaches, which I kind of like that.
Scott, kind of on the running backs, Malik mentioned when we spoke to him last week that they've gotten a lot better, especially even adding some to them in the passing game. Just what are you seeing from them? I mean, when we were there, it looked like Hassan and Jalen had put on like a ton of muscle as well.
Yeah, well, Mitchell is he's a walking muscle. I mean, that guy. I don't even know how you can put any more muscle on, really. I told Coach Mike he just needs to go in there and stretch. Don't even lift any more weights. I mean, he's big, man, but he's doing really, really good. I mean, he's kind of picked off where he left at the Wake Forest game, that last game. I tell you what else about Mitchell is that he's in our 10 strong group, which is our leadership group. He's in that. He's done a fabulous job as far as leadership goes. I'm really proud of him for that, and he brings it every day. And he doesn't say a whole lot, but when he does talk, you kind of the guys listen. And Hassan is doing better. Hassan, and he'll tell you, it's a disappointing year for him last year. I just think overall, for a lot of different things going on personally and football wise, but he's in a better place, and he's breaking off some good runs. He's staying on his feet. He's working hard. I mean, all those things that, he's got a ton of potential, I think, Hassan. He's that game-breaking speed, and we've seen it in the last couple of practices, particularly last Friday. And today he had 2 where he kind of broke out. So he's that guy, you kind of, if you go to sleep, you look up, all of a sudden he's bursting. And then I think Greg's the other kind of running back. He's put on some weight too, Greg. He's like, I asked him today, he's up to about 204, 205, and he's doing some really good things. He's got some good bursts. He's a great athlete. I mean, he's a decathlete. This guy's so he's got good balance, good hands. I could see him certainly playing for us at running back this year. And then Cooley, Cooley's kind of coming back. Today was his first day where Cooley kind of did everything today. So he's back kind of going. So we'll kind of slowly but surely get him in to get more reps. But it's good to have him back out there. So, you're looking at those 4 guys, and, they're doing some good things.
A quick follow-up to that. Malik mentioned using them more in the passing game, especially for him checking it down. How do you see them added to what you guys do offensively already?
Yeah, this is the most we've checked it down since we've been here, which is great. We got to be able to do that. And I think, within all our schemes, we're doing a few more things where we are getting the back out. And so now that quarterback in his mind, okay, it's not there, let me dump it off. So now you don't take as many sacks, you don't take as many pressures in the pocket, you just dump the ball off and let those guys go to work. And we're doing a much better job with that. We call it check downs, first downs. If you check the ball down, then that guy's a great opportunity where he can go get that first down. And I think Mitchell's done some great work with those linebackers. I think Greg's has. Both of those guys got a great feel for that.
Hey, Coach, this is Matt McGavick with Sports Illustrated. And kind of building off of that question, when we talked to Malik and Coach Thomas, Malik kind of mentioned that he is putting an emphasis on getting checkdowns to the running backs. But outside of that, they kind of mentioned some other things like keeping two hands on the football, moving around in the pocket. How has Malik progressed in those two areas, and how else has Malik tried to put forth an effort to cut back on the amount of turnovers that he had last season?
Yeah, I think those are the things. And then what we're doing every day this year in spring practice, we've done a turnover circuit. I mean, which is offense on defense. And so you're utilizing both guys. Defense obviously want to create turnovers, and in this case, fumbles. We're talking fumbles. So they're working on. We got several different drills that we're working with. That we've got some things from the New England Patriots that they've been doing for years that we started to do. I think that helps. And then I think it's just a huge emphasis on it, with Malik, because you go back and you watch some of his film. As soon as he goes to take off running, his hands separate from the ball. And so we just got to get in that great habit of, as he goes to take off running or turning, bringing both hands with him. And that's hard to break, that habit, if you've been doing that your whole life. I mean, because he's such a great athlete. He takes off running and, and he's running like this. And, oh, my gosh, So you just got to be coaching him up on that, really harping on it. He's done a better job with that. But today, we do something that we started this as well called sudden change. Throughout the practice, the guys don't know when it's going to. I don't tell anybody, and all of a sudden we put the ball down and we play ball. Today we put the ball on the +16, 2nd and 5. We call a pass play. Malik takes it down, but he does a good job of this time. He takes it down 2 hands. He goes around the left side and he ends up scoring a touchdown. It's so we don't ever want to take away that threat, because it is a great threat, right? That's a great thing that we can do against defenses. He's such a talent to be able to do that. So we just got to do it in a proper way where we're not, obviously not losing the ball.
Coach, spring ball is obviously to evaluate players and move guys around if you need to. I think we heard early that maybe Jack moved to the guard position and Desmond Daniels. Are those anybody else that you have, or is that something that happens maybe after spring more than before?
I can't think of anybody else at this point in time, but I think Jack's done a really good job down at guard. That's kind of, I think that's a good spot for him. He's really filled in well there and learned it and done some great things. But I can't think of anybody else. If there's somebody that we see we need to move around this or that, we kind of will. But there really hadn't been a whole lot of movement other than some offensive linemen where we've kind of let them play different positions, guard, tackle, those type things. But that's going to happen anyway, because we like to cross-train those guys. But there's not anybody that we've kind of put from offense or defense or slid into another position. Yeah, I mean, Greg, the running back, DeRozier, who was a wideout, in last fall, that we kind of moved to running back. So I feel like running back's a better spot for him for sure. I think, like I said, he can help us there and out of the backfield catching the ball, and the quarterbacks feel good about getting him the ball in that scenario.
The recruiting room is so important. The news last week of hiring David Cooper, kind of talk about the addition to the room for him and I guess, will there be more? I mean, are you planning to hire another person kind of thing?
Yeah. No, I think Coop will come in and really, man, he'll bolster our recruiting. There's no question about it. He's great personality. He's a hard worker. Comes highly recommended by a lot of different folks. He's been in the SEC at Florida, and Texas A&M and some other places as well. So yeah, we're excited about getting him on board. He's not even here yet, but he's already working hard. And yes, and to answer your question, yes, we're going to add some more spots as well. We've got a new graphics person that'll be coming in, a new video person that's coming in, and another recruiting type person that we're going to look to hire as well. So hopefully in the next week or two, maybe we'll be able to get those announced.
How much does that put you in a better situation, or maybe kind of even the playing field with some of the other schools out there? Yeah,
I mean, there's no question that we were not where we needed to be, at where we are in this level of recruiting. I mean, it's all about, getting as many people out there and building relationships as you possibly can. And we were kind of behind in that in the last year. Well, partly that was because of the pandemic, and, we made some cuts and didn't add positions back, and we're able to add those back now. But we have to be able to compete in recruiting. We all know that's the name of the game. I mean, you got to bring kids in and that can help you play, and it makes coaching a lot easier. I can tell you that when you got some players that go out there and make plays for you. So we got to continue to add that department, and we are. And I think the guys that we've had here, in the past, I think, Tyler McIntyre and Pete Nocta, those guys have done a great job, really kind of holding the fort down and really undermanned. But we did sign a really, really good class last year. Even with that, I think, again, like 10 of them are already here right now. We're really excited about these 10 and can't wait for the new guys to get here this summer.
Scott, at the beginning of the presser, you mentioned you're nearly a year through COVID. March 7th will be a year from your last spring practice when you really thought you would come back and you never came back. It's
been a long year, Cameron, I can tell you that. Since that point.
What has that time been like, reflecting on that year?
Yeah. It's amazing. You're right. It's about a year ago, and I remember on that Friday, our spring practice. Hey guys, I hear there's something out there, this virus. Make sure you wash your hands. We'll see you in a week, and then we don't see them till middle of June. I mean, it's unbelievable. Really just patience. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is to have patience, and really throughout this whole thing, because there's so much of unknowns that we went through, and all the changing, and we're still changing. I mean, we're like Monday we were going to practice, we didn't. We pushed it back another week, but all the things that we have and the changes that we've had, and we're still going through it. I just hope that it looks like there's maybe some light at the end of the tunnel at this point. As you start to look at the numbers are starting to come down, the vaccine's starting to roll out. We're hoping that over the next couple months this trend continues. With the news that we had last week as far as the dead period getting extended to May 31st, and so maybe June, we'll see if it can kind of get opened up, because we would love to be able to host recruits. They're frustrated. I mean, you think about what these guys have had to go through, these recruits. I mean, I can't even hardly imagine that, with being a parent or a recruit and not being able to go talk to the coaches on campus. And that's happened now. The last time I've been out was 13 months ago in January. So it's just been a long time since we've been able to see recruits, and I just think maybe this summer that'll open back up, and maybe if not, maybe by the fall we can bring them on campus to see our games, and I'm hoping we'll be able to have fans throughout the country to be able to come to games in the fall. So we'll see where we're at, because I know it's been hard on everybody. You guys, everybody. I mean, it doesn't matter what your profession. It's been hard. It's been frustrating. It's been different. And, we're all anxious and excited for what we can see, maybe that we get back a little bit normalcy. I feel like this fall, it still won't be totally normal, but it'll be close, and I think we proved last year, football did, that you can go outside and play and get these games and play these games. And I think we're not one time that I know of that did this virus transpire, through playing football. And obviously we all know on the outside what it does, but on the football field, I think our sport's done a great job with that, and hopefully we'll continue to do that as we head throughout the rest of the semester.
A quick follow to that. You've mentioned before how hard this year is for mentally for players, coaches. Going through this year, has that opened your mind a little bit more to the struggles of mental health for some of these players, or is that something you already thought about, and it just kind of heightened that?
I think probably, when I became a head coach back in 13, 14, right in there, that's when I really became aware of it, because the things that came across my desk back then, at that point in time, there was a lot of mental health issues then. And I think for me over the years, it's just, you're just hyper aware of it, and I think that's why even right from the start, when this was happening, I was talking to our administration and our people like, listen, I worry about the mental state of our guys. And I don't think that's changing. I really don't. I just think in young people in general, it's not, that is something that we have to deal with and we have to address. And we're very aware of it. And that's why we have open line of communications throughout this building with our guys. Maybe they won't come talk to me, but maybe they'll talk to, Pete Nocht in recruiting or somebody else in our building. I just think so. We got to continue to have those open lines of communication, and I think that's got to be at the forefront of what we're doing and what we're talking about with these young people.
Coach, Brian mentioned to us that the defense, one of the kind of the key spots for this spring for the development is in the middle of the front. How have you seen those guys in that middle spot? And Goldwire's a big guy that you have to replace.
Yeah, and we Desmond Tell's been out, and so he hadn't been practicing. So we're kind of at a disadvantage again right there. So that's a work in progress. I can tell you, we got to get better there. We're not where we need to be. That'll be a spot where we'll continue to look out throughout the country for players for that spot. I think that's a need for us. So I think. as we move throughout this semester and the summer, we'll kind of see what anything becomes available within that. And but if not, I mean, I think you get Desmond Tell back, and you got some other guys that are coming in that we'll take a look at that spot as well. And then the guys that are here playing, they just got to get better also. But I do think Goldweiler's a good, solid player for us up front. And when he didn't play, when he wasn't in the game last fall, there was a difference. You could tell. So yeah, that's a big need for us right there. We got to get better in that spot.
Anything else, guys? Good.
Well,
hey, Coach, throughout the first 2 weeks of practice, who's been someone who stood out to you the most, whether it's a veteran, a newcomer, a freshman, transfer? Who's caught your eye?
Yeah. Well, I think Kendrick Duncan has really caught my eye at safety. He's number one, he looks the part. I mean, he is a big human being at safety. Long arms, built well, probably around 215. Has a great knack and savviness for playing the position. He's coming from Georgia Southern that runs very similar defense that we play, and so he understood what he needed to do. And his first, 7 practices, making plays every time. And so he has really stood out to me. I think Yaya has really stood out up front at the defensive line position. I think he's made a lot of plays there up front. I think, and we all have a high ceiling, or we think he's going to be really good, and he's kind of coming to that. Trevor Reed is a guy at left tackle that I think has really stepped his game up. He is one of the more athletic linemen in the country. He's 6'5", 305 pounds. He can do a backflip. I mean, but being able to do a backflip is one thing, but learning how to block is another. And he's done a great job with that. And so we've kind of, we moved Adonis Boone inside a few practices, and we put Trevor with the ones at left tackle, and man, he's done a great job. So I think we kind of play with that lineup up front, where we're going to have as much depth this year that we've had since we've been here over the last couple of years. So we're excited about that, and some young guys have really stepped up as well. Michael Gonzalez, really good player, was working with the ones the last 2 practices, kind of rotating in there, I think. And he's a guy that can play tackle. I mean, so he gives us some more depth at tackle. Luke Kendra's another guy who didn't play much last year, had a shoulder injury, but really playing well at guard for us right now. Big, strong guy, man. I'm excited about what Luke's going to bring to the table as well. Brian Hudson, who came in from Virginia Tech, is in the mix. He's playing guard, center, and he's working 1s and 2s. I mean, he's doing a lot of great things as well. We got a lot of depth up there, which is very exciting to have that up front with a lot of young players too that I think down for the future is going to be really good up front. We all know if we can get our O-line, D-line playing at a high level, then you give yourself a much better chance.
And as a follow-up to that, do you think Hudson could contend to be a day one starter?
He could absolutely. He's going to be pushing guys up front. He's certainly, if he doesn't start, he's going to be playing. I can tell you that. I mean, he's that kind of player. So comes in, works hard every day, good demeanor. So yeah, he'll be in the mix. Yep, Cameron.
Yeah, Scott. One more from me. The receivers, you're obviously losing Tutu and Dez, and it's a lot of stuff, a lot of productivity. Just what have you seen from some of the guys in the first half of practice? I imagine I know Jordan Watkins, Braden Smith, JJ, just all those guys.
Yeah, those guys have played well. I mean, I think Braden Smith has done some really good things. If we can count on him in there. I think Shy Wirtz has come in and he'll play. He's going to play a lot. I mean, he'll be in the mix. Him and Braden and JJ, they'll be those inside guys that all three will be able to make plays for us. Shy made a big-time play today on a touchdown across the middle. I think he's and a nice back shoulder catch as well today. I thought that was, because he's a guy that played quarterback, so he's not really had the opportunity to make these plays. And when you can see a guy who reached back, make a back shoulder catch, that was impressive. And it's something when he comes back and the players are giving him high fives and all that. So it's just he's making plays for us. Christian Fitzpatrick's a big target on the outside. And Justin Marshall's had a nice spring for us. I mean, Justin's got to me a lot of potential, and so he's made a lot of plays as well. So we're not going to be able to replace, I don't think, a Tutu Atwell, Christian Fitzpatrick, Dez Fitzpatrick on this, this early in the season. But we got to find ways where we can, where these guys can come in and make plays and in their own way, and really help our offense. But I think they're certainly going to be probably by committee this year, as you look at all those names we just mentioned, that'll just kind of come in and help the offense. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.